Hey everyone, it's Richard with Grey Wizard Insights. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Terraforming Mars Ares expansion. What is the difference between it and the normal game? And just kind of like a high level, kind of like what you should expect from this latest introduction to the Terraforming Mars universe. So what is the difference between Terraforming Mars and Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition? Somebody asked me, and I was like, well, Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition is a card game. Well, wait, so is Terraforming Mars. Well, Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition has a board. So does Terraforming Mars. You play corporations. Wait, no, there are so many similarities here, guys. So many similarities. But the games are distinctly different. Now, they wrote a whole page sheet that if you've already bought the game, then you can read that sheet and you can read all of the differences and similarities between Terraforming Mars and Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. But if you have not bought the game, or you have not opened it yet, or you don't want to read this sheet, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition is a lighter, smaller game. It fits in a smaller space. It is like small enough that you could pack all of Terraforming Mars in a suitcase or even a backpack. I could fit this in one of my backpacks. This is a small game. And this is all of it. Up to this point, everything fits in here. If you do not use card sleeves, which I do not use card sleeves with purpose, comment down below why I should use card sleeves, but I don't. There is so much room. You could fit 6 more expansions in this box, I think, if I needed to, because I don't use card sleeves and they just fit. I had to put other stuff in there to organize it, to keep it like together. So there's plenty of room. This is crazy. Now let's compare that to the other Terraforming Mars game. Now, the other Terraforming Mars game is massive. I have the giant box that holds all of this stuff, and it is really big. Oh, is that it? Yeah, that's it. So compare that. It is roughly 2, 3, 4 times the size or something like that. Now, granted, this is the big box that holds all the expansions and the 3D model upgrades, but this is a very big game and it takes up a lot of table space. That is not true for Ares Expedition, which is much smaller and can fit much more, bite-sized. So what's similar between the two games? Well, you still have corporations, including favorites like Hillian, Ecoline, things like that. I probably totally mispronounced that wrong, guys, sorry. You're still trying to increase the number of oceans on Mars. You're trying to increase the temperature. You're trying to increase the oxygen levels. You still have colored cubes. And you have production tracks, just like the first game. You have a lot of similar symbols, though you have to be careful because the symbols are similar and they have similar meaning, but they don't have similar game effects necessarily, of course. And this is any game that reuses symbols, right? You have forests, but instead of a map where you're putting forests, every player has a number of forests that they just control. So these are forests that they have a pile of forests. And there's 5 tokens and whatever. So I have 6 forests. So that's important. You can continue to get forests. There's not like a limit on the board. You can only have 2 forests because there's only 2 spaces left, whatever. No, you have your own pile of forests. You have a very large project deck. Look at this deck. This is crazy. You have so many projects, guys, which I think is super cool because that's one of my favorite parts of the game. There is a lot. You have the cool different cubes that are different images or different types of materials, and those are super cool. and saying, that's similar. These aren't metallic, but they also don't look like they're going to peel. So take it for what you will. I think these are probably better because I do have some of the other ones that have started to rub off because they're like, are they little stickers? I don't know what the heck the other ones are, but some sort of coating. These look solid. Like if you crack this in half, it's probably the same all the way through. Comment down below if you want me to crack one in half because I will totally do it. All right, so what is different between this game and the other? Now, I commented a little bit with like the forest and things, and that was kind of a mistake. But let's go into what is different. The biggest, most tremendous difference between this game and the original game is the idea of these phases. Each player has their own deck of cards. And actually, the backs are color-coded, which is kind of cool. So this is blue, and there's one of these for every type of, or every color of player in the game, right? So blue, green, yellow, red, I think black and white, purple maybe, I don't know. So each player has this hand, and they choose what they absolutely need to do in any given round. If you've played with this kind of mechanic in Roll for the Galaxy or Twilight Imperium or a lot of different 4X games, right? Everybody chooses a thing and you say, this is what I need to do. But you hope the other players have chosen the things you want to do. So boom, I activated development. So development is activated. Let's say another player activated action. Let's say another player activated production. So what that's going to mean is that everybody simultaneously is going to do the development phase, which means that every player may play one green project card. The players who have activated the development phase, they get a bonus. The bonus for development is that I get to pay 3 mega credits less for the card that I play this phase. So you can imagine everybody gets to play a card, but it's more expensive for them. But it comes around to the action phase, and the player who activated the action phase gets an extra bonus, just like all of them. You always get a bonus if you are the player who activated it. So they and everybody gets to play any action effects and standard actions on your cards. Your blue cards, same as old Terraforming Mars. But the player who activated the action phase, that players, if there's more than one, they get to activate one ability twice. Now, if you remember the blue cards from Terraforming Mars, that is a huge ability. That is powerful. That is awesome. But I got to play a card cheaper. Maybe that's more valuable. Who knows? All of those work that way. So that is the big difference. Things are happening throughout the whole game because we're all playing simultaneously. If there's nobody playing production, then nobody gets stuff. So that's a big change. If you look at the board is similar but different. There is still gold production, but there is now also card production. Getting cards does not cost you anything. But you can now sell your cards for 3 money each, 3 mega credits each. There is now card production. So if you have a bunch of scientists working for you, they increase your card production. Every time there's a production phase, you're going to get cards. So that's cool. I don't even know what it looks like when you can get 10 card production, 20 card production, something like that. That's insanity. Now, there's heat production, but there's no power production. There's plant production, there is steel production, and there's titanium production, but those just decrease the cost of cards. They don't accumulate steel or titanium. Every player board says how things can convert, right? So you can, kind of like the old standard actions, you can convert money into plants, money into temperature, plants into plants. Now, I commented before the forests do not pile up on the board anymore. The forests are just a resource that you accumulate how many forests you control on your area. And then the other area that is different is that there is no more racing to be the first to complete a terraforming rating to block other players from those scores. So if we're at 6 temperature and in this round, I increase the temperature to 8 and I then get a terraforming rating because I increased it. If everybody else has temperature things, they can all do it too, because it's all simultaneous. So there's no blocking. I can't say, I'm going to do this first, and now you can't do it. We're all going to do it. We're all going to get the reward. And the only way that you can't increase a thing, temperature, oxygen, whatever, the only way you can't is in the scenario that it was completed in a previous round. So once it's completed, same as the old game, you can't get any more terraforming rating. But simultaneously, you can't block each other. So that is a pretty big change. That even includes the oceans. Even though there's no space for the extra oceans, you can continue to flip oceans even if you were like otherwise out, and you continue to get terraforming ratings. So everything you can just kind of like keep playing. That is the foundations of what is different, other than the cards themselves, which then play differently because of all these other changes. So like dominoes being, tilted over, once you've put these changes into place, the whole game starts rippling out into a different game experience, which, look, this is basically the game setting up. You hand out some corporation, they choose a corporation, you're basically ready to play. This game is very fast to set up. To me, that's a big difference, actually. This is like, I feel like inviting people over to play right now. It is ready. Now, I will have a separate video where I talk about the actual experiences of playing the game. But not this video. I haven't played enough to really feel comfortable like talking about what is it like when everybody knows how to play. Do you jump into it? How long does it take? All this stuff. So we're going to have a separate video about that. I'm going to end this video here. I want to know your comments. What do you think about the game? What do you think about the mechanics with these phases? Do you like games like this? Is this your first time? All this stuff. And if you have any questions, then by all means, comment them down below. We'll do the research, even reach out to the game designer, whatever, and we'll figure it out. So with that, click like, click subscribe. Thank you, everyone. Bye, guys.